Those things happen. Hello, everyone. Here we are live, and today is Thursday, February 2nd. As you know, it's interview day. Interview day with Lucy, and always an awesome guest. So, I'd like to take care of a few housekeeping items. If you are joining us live today, down below in the comments, hashtag live, or if it's the replay, just type in hashtag replay. And do tell us where you're coming from. I always love to know where the people who join us live are coming from. And if you're not coming, if you're doing the replay, also tell us where you're coming from. As you know, I'm in Mexico, in a small village in the mountains outside of Guadalajara. And my guest today is from the Grand Island, Bahama. And so one other thing I want to mention, there is a strip above that says StreamYard. Would you click on that and give StreamYard the permission to use your name? Because if you don't, then you will come across as Facebook user, and we won't be able to really, well, we will, but we like to use your name. I see Barbara's joining us, and she's live. Hi, Barbara. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you, rather. Okay, so a little bit about my guest. We're both expats, and we both live in our own individual paradise. We'll talk about that. We met online, and then we met in person. My guest came to Mexico, to my little village. I couldn't believe it. So we met. Angelika and myself, we met here in Mexico. And then, of course, then we met in our launch lab program, which, we have been working closely and joyfully working together. We both have Tony Robbins as a mutual mentor. Anyway, enough about that. Meet, please, my humble, beautiful, charismatic guest today. And it's Dr. Angelika Christie. How are you, Angelika?
I am very, very well. And thank you so much for having me, Lucy. It's so great to be here and have that opportunity to chat.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. I just want to let you know that Barb is here with us, and you know Barb. So we're going to have this discussion together. So, Dr. Angelika, I just want to say, I know that you're an award-winning international speaker. You're a best-selling award author. You're a mother of 5 children. That's really important. You're a grandmother of 10 children. That's really important. You're also a naturopath. You're a coach, and not just a coach, but a trendsetter in personal development. You're a heart-mind relationship coach. You're a Reiki master teacher for over 30 years. I mean, I could go on and on. The other two, I have to mention this. You ran 2 New York marathons under 4 hours at the age of 40 and 42. I can't believe that. Now, I ran for 17 years, but I only did 10 Ks. And I know for a runner, the ultimate success for a runner is a marathon. You did 2. I can't believe this.
Well, I did 2 because the first one, I just wanted to see how it is. So that was not under 4 hours. But it was like, I just wanted that experience, and
Right.
It was amazing. And the second time I thought, okay, so now I know I can do it. So now I go for time. And I did. So.
And it's really amazing because women in their 40s have a lot of energy. I remember having a lot of energy. I ran for 17 years, 3 miles a day. It was so, I can believe that I never ran under 4 hours. And under 4. Yeah, 4 hours in the marathon. I mean, really.
No, but not every woman around 40 or over has a lot of energy. There are women in their 30s who have no energy.
Yeah, true.
It's really something. Your body is so amazing, and your body is that vehicle, and you have to take care of it. And your mind, your set, and how you, not only how you think, but also what you challenge yourself to do.
Absolutely.
And as we know, Tony Robbins says physicality is where everything really starts, and it's
Absolutely.
true. The body is number one, And you have to have a healthy body to have a healthy mind. I mean, not healthy. I mean, you can have a disability or so. I'm not talking about that.
No.
But the energy, the life force energy, and that really comes from all around us,
Absolutely, absolutely. And Barb says I was in my best shape in my 40s too. So, and I was too, but I'm still in good shape. So, you're really considered a woman's health advocate.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you've been honored with awards of excellence in leadership and life transformation. I mean, to me, you're an unstoppable human being like I am, but you come with all the accolades. It's hard to know where to begin. So let's go back to your background a little bit, okay? And when we go back to your background, I don't want you to omit the fact that you are Baroness Angelika Christie, and that you come from an almost 1,000-year-old German aristocratic family.
Correct.
Can you tell us a little bit about that? That's so exciting to me.
Well, I guess my soul decided that. I didn't have anything to do with it. I mean, I was born into that family.
Mhm.
And I'm very proud because my family has such an incredible history of just not making huge amounts of money, but being very doing amazing things for communities and for people. For example, I mean, my grandfather from my father's side, great grandfather, was a justice, and but anyway. And the women in my family, for example, my great grandmother brought a chocolate factory into our family, and another one brought a vineyard, which is from 1474 or so,
Wow.
vineyard into the family. So the women, I found, always did something very specific, purpose driven.
Mhm.
And maybe that's a little bit in me as well, because I
Thank
was
you.
born after the Second World War, and I mean, I almost died of hunger. My mother thought she wouldn't be able to feed me because everybody was hungry in Germany after the Second World War. And so I am the shortest in the family. I'm not really that. Well, I'm 5'6", 5 feet.
That's about, well, we're the same, yes,
But
the same
my
height.
sister and my brothers, everybody is taller. Even my parents were taller. So I
Mhm.
believe I didn't get enough to eat. and that's why today I love food so much. One of my highest um, uh, serotonin or dopamine experiences is to have my refrigerator full of good food.
Oh, wow.
And because I had a big family, there was a lot of, it was going fast all the time, like with 5 children and no grandchildren back then. But I still buy a little bit too much food.
Much food.
But then I always find a way I mean, I hardly ever throw anything away. And that's probably because that's how I was brought up. You
Mhm.
don't throw food away because food was precious back then. But I mean, if you ask me about my characteristic, is was the one in my family who broke rules, and I still break rules, and I break them for love, for
Mhm.
freedom, for justice, and to be true to myself. So
Right.
I'm different from most women how I grew up.
Mhm.
And this is maybe why I always had the feeling I had to prove something. Yeah, I don't need all of these accolades or whatever, or certificates on the wall, but I needed to go through that to prove to myself I can do it. I can do it. Yes, I can do it. And I love to study and I love to research. And I believe that my clients really profit from that because when you go to a medical doctor, so often they are stuck in
Right.
what they used to or what they learned, but they are not. Some are, but most are not researchers and constantly improve themselves and constantly pivot and adjust to the new science, you know.
Right. You know, I want to go back when you're talking about food. I know that you're a naturopath.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about food, you are talking about food coming right out of the garden. I remember a story that I read about you that when you were younger in Germany, you used to go, they didn't feed you at the table. You used to go to the garden and eat raw food.
That's right. Especially everything that I loved sour things. So, of course, fruits. We had many, many, many fruit trees, and
Mhm.
before the fruit is really, really ripe, it's more on the sour side. So I
Right.
loved our rhubarb, for example. It's a very
Rhubarb.
sour thing, you know. So I loved all of that. And when I was kind of forced to eat at the table, I sometimes collected the food in my sheets. Found a way to get to the bathroom and take it out.
That is too funny. But you know, those are stories that make us who we are today. It's unbelievable. So, you know, I know that. So you married in Germany, right?
Yes,
And so, at what age did you marry? Did you first marry? Because I know you've been married a few times. We'll
yes.
talk
So
about that.
yes. So actually, I fell in love with a man when I was my first love when I was 15 years old and 16,
Wow.
17, 18. But he was in part of a family that was in very hard competition with the business that my parents were in.
Okay.
And so we were something like Romeo and Juliet. We were not allowed to be together. So making a long story short, I left home because I could not be with this man. And I left just before I graduated from
Oh,
high school. So I went to Munich and did everything to be able to go to university there. But I also was, I mean, this man that I was not allowed to be with, he visited me and I got pregnant.
mm-hmm.
And my father was horrified, and he did everything to make me abort the baby. And when I didn't do that, then he offered me everything, the world, if I would give it up for adoption. And I didn't. So I was 20 years old then, and I had my first son, Mark. And he still is amazing. And he has 4 children on his own. He is the best father. Anyway, so that was my out of marriage child. But when Mark was 4 years old, I married in Germany and I had 2 additional children. So I had 3 children then. And
Oh, wow.
when I left Germany, I was 25 years old because I fell in love. My husband in Germany was very, very difficult. He just did not care. He only lived for the day. So when you have children and you have somebody who only lives for the day, doesn't care about paying bills, doesn't care about any of this, kind of a sunny boy,
Yeah. Happy
attitude,
go lucky.
that almost killed me. And I just
Mhm.
couldn't take it anymore. But anyway, we had an apartment in the Bahamas. So we would come to the Bahamas about twice a year. And that's when it happened. I met the man and lightning struck. I fell in love with the Bahamian man. And yeah, that's so I divorced my first husband. I thought I could take my 2 children who were 3 and 5 at the time with me. But I was only allowed to take my oldest son, who was, of course, not his child anyway. Mark was my son,
Mhm.
and so that was a tough time to have to leave my. I hoped that they would come, but they came later. But you know, it was a tough time. Yeah, and so I married in the Bahamas. My beautiful soulmate, not knowing what a soulmate is.
Angelika, you know, you strike me as a woman who has followed her heart and her passion. You fell passionately in love on both times, and you just, you know, you followed your heart. You know, it wasn't your brain that said no, you, or your parents that said no, you can't do it. I mean, here's a woman, folks, who followed her heart was speaking to her, and you know, and she followed her heart and her passion. I
And
mean,
something passion, yes, but the heart did not even speak in a soft way. My heart said, that's it. You must.
You must, right, right. Oh my God. So it's amazing. So the year was, what year was that when you fell in love with the Bahamian person, if I'm saying it right, Bahamian person?
That was 77 or 78. Yeah.
1977 and 90. So this was your second husband, right?
Well, we got married in 1980. I fell
Okay.
in love with him before, but then I needed to get my divorce and, go through all of
Yes, of course. Right, right. So, so at what point did you become a coach and the mentor that you are today? Because you have been working with women over 50 for about 30 years.
Yes. So, of course, when I came to the Bahamas, I found, when I was still back in Germany, my desire to understand life, and of course, I loved food already then, what was healthy. My parents told me that very often when they asked me, to eat something or to buy it, I said, is this healthy? So it must have come with that already in my...
You always had it in your mind. Yeah.
Yes. And so when I came to Bahamas, the incredible beauty of the pristine nature just triggered my spirituality, because from my teenagehood, I studied metaphysics, the ancient masters of Tibet. I am present. The White Brotherhood, all of that was fascinating to me, and I studied it, I devoured it. And so before I became a naturopathic doctor, I became a Reiki master teacher, because somebody visited me in the Bahamas, and she spoke so highly of it that I say, okay, I never heard of it. Let me try to find out more. And I studied it, and I found it so incredible, because you don't do anything. It is, you're getting out of the way and allowing this incredible energy to be, you're just the conduit, so to speak,
Yes.
for the person who actually draws whatever energy with the wisdom of the universe and her own wisdom of her soul into what needs healing. And I really loved it. And I made, I not only had a practice, because I had Radiant Health Center, was a brick and mortar center that I established in the Bahamas. And I even after I closed it in 2009, I still would go and teach Reiki, and I made, I don't know, hundreds of Reiki students, Reiki 1, 2, and advanced, and I think I made 5 or 6 Reiki masters.
Wow.
I made, they just...
They did the course, they went through the motion.
Yes. I don't practice Reiki as I still use it on myself. And when somebody needs healing, and so immediately, I use it because you can send it. There is no barrier to
So
send.
it's just a modality for you to have, and that you use in your coaching programs.
Yes.
Oh, that's very interesting. I'd like to know, because you are very well known, in the realm of speaking. I mean, you did a TEDx in the Grand Bahama Island, and the key was for mature women. Also, you have spoken at the Harvard Club
of Boston, yes.
And so many others. Can you talk a little bit about that to us, please?
Well, that was I think it was in 2018, 2019. I just felt that I wanted to step beyond the Bahamas I just wanted the experience of speaking in places where there was a lot of history, a lot of energy, and meet amazing people, some celebrities and all of this. And I got this opportunity, and I took it. So I spoke. I was even in Carnegie Hall on the stage and spoke there, and Rockefeller Center all the way on top.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and West Point. I mean,
Well,
really,
how did that happen? You
that
know,
that was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't
yeah.
think they allowed it after that.
But it's in your bio right now, so that's great.
Yes, and I can prove it. And I also met uh, Aldrin. What's his name?
We're
The
not.
astronaut.
Oh, the astronaut. Oh, really?
But anyway,
Anyway, it'll come to you all of a sudden. It'll come to you.
yeah.
So I know that you kind of had an epiphany. You talk about an epiphany that you had one day walking on the beach. Was
Yes,
that the beginning of it all?
yes. It was. It was really the beginning of it all, because what happened even before that was,
Excuse me, was it Buzz Aldrin?
yes, Buzz. Buzz Aldrin.
Barbara, thank you, Barbara.
Aldrin, exactly.
That's why I love when people buzz, and
You
Michelle
said,
says buzz for sure.
yes, Buzz,
Thank you
exactly.
so much.
Buzz came in my mind, but then I disregarded it because I thought, oh, maybe this is the toy. There is Buzz, whatever. There is another that's called Buzz.
So thank you. So I'm sorry. We were talking about you and how you. I also want to talk about, because you were on stage with one of my favorites, which is Brenda Bouchard. How
Yes.
did you end up on stage with Brendan Bouchard? I
Well,
mean, that
Brendan,
doesn't happen every day.
Brendan Bishar and Roger Love and Bo Eason, those three amazing people,
Mhm.
had created a what they called world's greatest speakers.
Okay.
And I took a course with Bo Eason. It was just a one-day course within that 5-day event or so.
Mhm.
And part of it was, the VIP was that we got the opportunity to be on stage for 3 minutes to tell something that we never shared before. That's very personal. So we got challenged, and I couldn't sleep that night. And they didn't tell us when that would be. That could be any day within
Mhm.
the 5 days, at any time of the day. So
Right.
you not really prepare very much for it. And I never forget the night before that, when I was called, even though I didn't know it, I had this terrible dream that, and it triggered a memory of what happened to me when I was in boarding school, the mother house of the Ursuline nun, who pushed me down onto the ground and
Oh my
told
God.
me that I would never have a decent life because I disobeyed her, and I may as well be a whore. I was 11 years old. I didn't even know what that was.
You're right.
Because I jumped into one of these bumper cars, and there was a boy my age in it, and I
Mhm.
jumped in with him for a 1-minute ride, snuck out
Mhm.
of, yeah. I broke the rule again, you see. So
You're always breaking the rules. Yes. I love it. It's freedom. They don't
yeah,
call you freedom whisperer for nothing.
and that's maybe why I love this, to be right on the beach here. I don't know if you can see it out of there. It's the
Oh yeah.
ocean
Oh
right
yeah.
there.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Beautiful, beautiful green, blue. Oh my God. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with
Yeah.
us. Okay, so I know you've also hung out with a lot of celebrities. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those occasions? For example, I've seen pictures of you and President Carter and his wife. What prompted that? That
Yes. Well, that 2019 was a very expensive year. I think I paid almost $50,000 to be in this group of celebrity launchpad, which gave you these opportunities. So
Mhm.
this is not something you can just pick up the phone and say, I want to have a, see you. But this is all arranged, and it costs
Okay.
to, just like, if you want to appear on a big stage, you don't go there for free.
No,
You
you don't.
what you and a lot of people say, well, you paid for it. Yes, but it's not only the experience, but also who sees you. You are the audience is
Right.
usually free. And it's an incredible experience that also you have to break through your own limitations of thought, of
And the fear,
fear. Yeah. And I always like those challenges, so and we don't challenge ourselves enough. And so what happened on the beach, because my husband and my family said, Mom, I think I was about almost 70 years, so that's about 6 years ago. They said, don't you think it's time to
retire?
Yeah. And I had a mini stroke in that year as well.
Okay.
Should really retire. And I walked the beach and I had a sleepless night, and something in me said, no, what do I do when I retire?
Right.
It's crazy. But then I just wanted to know. I said, maybe I'm getting too old. Maybe I'm not healthy enough anymore. All of this, all of a sudden, then there comes that survival instinct. It's not the higher thought and from your higher self, but it comes from this survival. Maybe I should just take it easy and relax and don't stretch myself anymore. So I took that walk early in the morning and I screamed out to God. I mean, I was raw, and I said, give me a sign if you want me to do the work. And I only want to do the work with women. If you want me to do this, you have to give me an undeniable sign. And it was just all of a sudden. I mean, it came almost instantly. There was just like this calm came through me, almost like a light that calmed everything down. Mm-hmm. And then from somewhere inside of me, there were those two images. There were horses. I mean, I loved horses. I did horseback riding, but in the Bahamas, I was more looking for dolphins, but there were two horses.
Quite different.
Right. One was a stallion, was a black stallion. It was like a powerful horse, was almost like a war horse. Mm-hmm. And the other one was like Pegasus, was a silver-winged, beautiful mare. And those horses just merged within me, and I just knew. I didn't hear a voice, but I just knew it was my soul. It was my inner hero. It was my soul self. The power that I needed to do the things and get the yeses when I want yeses, and say the no when I must say the no. And then the Pegasus was just like a gift of healing and a higher perspective, and knowing not only what is right for me, but also get the ability to see in others what their a specific gift is. Right. And so all of that happened there, and I fell on my knees and I cried and cried and cried. But that was, for me, it was so undeniable that this was my, not only permission, but my must.
Right. Your must in life. Yeah. Yeah. I just want, Elizabeth says, retire, question mark, why, question, follow your heart. You've done so beautifully doing that so far. Yeah. So, and what a beautiful vision you just gave us, such wonderful spirit guides, really.
Yeah. We all have them. And that's when I really developed the inner hero. Because your soul self, sometimes we don't have an idea yet. We know we have a soul, but what is that soul? We know we need to become still and listen. And there is, when you can create or not create, it just comes to you. When you want and ask for an image of your soul self, it will come to you. It's your gift, because it's so much easier than to bring that image and the feeling of the image into you, and it's your wisest confidant.
Right. That's amazing. You have been given a lot of awards, Angelika. Tell us, what is, I mean, the golden, what is it called? They call the Golden Globe.
The quill, the Golden Quill
The
Award.
quilt for being the best author. Oh my God, look at you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, 35 winning strategies from today's leading entrepreneur,
Yeah.
Angelika
Yes.
Christie. There you are. I mean, really, was that your best award? I mean, how did you feel receiving that award?
Well, I mean, this is just, I was in such amazing company, because the authors in here, this is a book that I co-authored, right?
You co-authored, okay?
So that was amazing. There was this big gala, red carpet in Los
In
Angeles.
LA, right?
Yes, and it was just amazing. But I'm actually more proud of these little books that I did. And this is Your Intelligence Cell. I did this in 2011. It's small, but it has so much in it, and it has an extended online environment. And then this book I just wrote and published last year. So that's only
How to
me.
revive your relationship or leave without regret. But didn't you write like 6 books, I think?
Well, I have, yes. When you, just like this here, this is a bestseller, and this is one of the books that I have become a best-selling author with. It's just like the football team,
Right.
they all become champions. They're in a team, but they're all champions in their own right,
Right.
So whenever you are part of an anthology book, and it makes bestseller, then
You
you
become a bestseller.
become a bestseller,
Yeah.
right?
Which is really nice, I think. Really,
Yes.
very, very nice.
If you have not written your own book, that's
Mhm.
really the easiest way to kind of step into that, in the arena, so to speak,
Yeah.
to become an author.
I just want to go back because I asked you about that occasion where you were with President Carter, and I think we went off on a tangent. I just want to pull you back in to
Okay.
that event. How did you end up with a president of the United States, or an ex-president at the time? President, I don't know what year that was. Maybe he was president that year. I don't know.
No. He was already. This was in 2019.
Okay.
So, this is arranged. You pay for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So it was an arranged kind of thing, but you were in the
I had,
midst.
yes, it was a relatively large group, and we had to hang out in the parking lot around 4 o'clock in the morning to be able.
Parking lot. I love it.
Highly, I mean, you can imagine there is high security everywhere, and to have the opportunity to actually go to him and talk to him, shake his hand and whatever, and I could just see in his twinkle in his eyes, he really liked me.
Well, because you're an amazing woman. I mean, the aura around you is just, it's so pleasant to be around you all the time. So yes, I can understand that.
And I have that photo where I'm actually going toward him, and all you can see is his face, and it's so cute,
Oh, how cute is that? Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that with us. I mean, there have been other celebrities also, and I love the fact. Oh, I want to talk about something else that I remember. You, in COVID, of course, COVID changed your life like it changed everybody's life.
Yeah.
And we could talk about your natural path, you being a naturopathic doctor here also. But I love the analogy that you made, that it happened in 2020, and don't we have 2020 vision? And so aren't we kind of called to be looking at this from that a different perspective with our vision? I mean, can you talk a little bit about that? I love that whole analogy for sure.
I'm not 100% sure if I understood your question. I see it from what perspective?
Okay, you were talking about COVID.
Yes.
Happening in 2020.
To me, yes.
Well, to all of us.
I
to
got
all
it.
of us.
I got
And
it.
the analogy that you used was that, isn't it interesting that we have 20, we talk about 2020 vision.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
And
Yes.
shouldn't we kind of look at this, with a different thought or different
Yeah.
outlook,
Yes. You see nothing, and you know this because we are all students of Tony Robbins. You know
Right.
that the universe happens for you, and
Not
so
to you.
whatever happens, for you or to you happened for you, and
Mhm.
so I needed to really get into what did all of this mean, not just globally, but what did it mean to me also in my health? And of course, the other thing was that this definitely, because up to that point, I was outside and I could find my clients by personal experience, by
Right.
personal appearance. And now that was gone. So all of a sudden, I'm online. And I mean, I've always been not always, 10 years before, I was online, but only to learn, not to
Right.
present. And so I said, oh my God, I mean, I have spent a ton of money on everything, so I should know how to create my business online. Why can't I do it? And it's because I was at a level where I had all of this. I paid so much money for all of that. That did not make me able to implement it.
Right.
Know? And when I don't even, God guided this again, the universe happens for you, and universe happened for me when I came across WOW women.
WOW Women.
Yeah.
Actually, you and I met in a networking group, and I was talking about our launch lab program, and then that's how you came about to, joining the the WOW. Wow, I
Yeah.
just like to say the Wow Club.
Wow.
And
Yes.
so you have been a member now of the Launch Lab Mastermind program for quite a few months. I mean, there you are talking about how do I, launch my program online?
Yes.
Would you say so? We know how we connected. So could you talk a little bit about your experience so far with working with the team?
I mean, this is just amazing. And I must say that in the very beginning, I did not give it the priority that it
Hmm.
deserved. That's why I'm taking it again.
Right.
I loved everybody. I found it amazing, but it's almost like, okay, let me see when we are done if this is just I give you everything and
Right.
then disappear, or what's going to happen. And it was and still is such an incredible experience that I mean, you are doing such amazing work for such an affordable price, because what I get from you, I paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for and did not get the personal attention, you know.
Right. And when I just want to let my audience know that when Angelika says you, she's talking about my team and I, just not just me alone.
Yeah,
So I work with a
not,
team of
not
three
slack.
wonderful coaches, and we work together. And thank you. And Elizabeth Lupacchino, who is here with us, as she's a member of the Wow Club too, and it has been transformative. Thank you, Elizabeth, for that. Um, it's been a wonderful experience working with Elizabeth, and certainly now with you, Angelika. It's just, thank you, thank you, Barbara. What a
Yeah,
great team.
yeah.
So I just want to, just while we're on the subject, would you recommend this program to anyone else, and why? And why would you?
Absolutely. Well, because it's kind of easy. It is, even though I know so much, but knowing it does not mean that you know how to implement it.
Implement it,
And
right?
so it's a program that is for a newbie
Hmm.
as much as for somebody like me, and
You
probably somebody even further ahead than
right.
than where I am, because it's not going in too many directions. It is very specific. If you want to launch your business coaching program, for me, it's going to be a subscription membership site. If you want to launch that, then you must do certain things. And if you want to launch that with Facebook online in a specific way, then you follow the steps. And that success path is not only step by step and with incredible precision, but also with all of the help, with the Q&As constantly, and amongst the community. Everybody helps each other. If there's a question, it's always answered in no time. You don't have to send an email anywhere.
It's what we went through, and we avoided that. We knew we've learned the hard way. We learned that doesn't work.
And it shows because all of the things that were so frustrating before, all of a sudden, no, they're not there anymore. It's easy. But even it's easy to do, and whatever is easy to do is also easy not to do.
Not to do, exactly.
So what you still need to do is you need to do the work.
Nobody can do it for you. Of course, we could do it for you for costly, some, but it's always so much more rewarding, because we can't do the videos for you. There's certain things we can't do for you. And so, and you're going to spend the time anyway, so why not spend it the right way? Doing the right thing, because we take clues from those who came before us. I mean, we're following this in the footsteps of Tony and Dean, and
and even they go and improve. I watched Tony's I'm Not Your Guru, that mentoring,
right?
And my God, he says the F word almost in every sentence.
I know.
I mean, he has been learning, right? He has been evolving.
If you call that evolving, but you're right. I mean, it's still a little shocking to me today, but it's like
we are never standing still. We are, evolving and
all the time, right?
So and that's what I like about your group, and the how you help us and how you teach it. It's I would give it 100%. I mean, seal of confidence and total. I mean, you would be crazy not to take that course if you want to launch online.
Thank you very much. I want to get back to you a little bit. Your father once said to you when you were a child, "Live from the power within." I love that.
Yeah.
You didn't realize at the time, you didn't understand as a child what he meant, but you're actually living that today, aren't you?
Yes. My father was, I mean, he took me on his knees, and he could tell me everything about the universe, the supernovas, the black holes, the whole star system. And he just loved nature, but he was not religious. He didn't go to church. He wasn't religious. And then I don't know how I ended up in a Catholic nunnery, school, but their education was supposed
superior to others. That was the case. It still is today. I mean, I worked with the Jesuits in San Francisco for 35 years, so yeah, absolutely.
Are a little bit renegades, right?
They are, but I like that about them.
Exactly, I love that about them too. Not the Oslo nuns; they were stuck up.
Yeah, right. No, these were the Marymount nuns that worked really well with the Jesuits.
My father really opened me up to and probably instilled that in me, because he said, I never forget it, when he took me in his arm and said, Angelika, I mean, kind of everything else is the dogma, religion, whatever. That's not important. What can never be threatened is the power you have within.
Within you. Oh my
And
God.
again, that's the later on, your inner hero. All of that has a little bit of a seed probably planted.
I think so. I think so, because you are, that's who you are.
Yeah.
You live with the power from within you, the power within you. And Tony says it big time. And you do everything Tony said. Tony says proximity is power. Look what you did. I mean, I know you spent $50,000, but you got to that proximity that you needed. So
Yeah.
you have all the foundation, and all you need now is that little road path to take you, our program to take you to, to launch your program. And
Yes.
so,
Because,
it's
yeah,
amazing how life works, isn't it?
absolutely. And I became aware because I asked myself, okay, so I have created so many courses, relationship courses. Then the Prosper on Purpose. There are 5 steps. That course, I presented it from stage, and then the 7 C's of success. I have all of these courses, and I said, and then I did quite a bit of a personal coaching. I had one one client. All she wanted to be coached on is manners, etiquette,
Wow.
and and the arts. So what do I need to know about music? What do I need to know about the arts? Because she came from a very small, small environment in Russia, married a very wealthy man, and all of a sudden she's in a society that she feels totally out of, not belonging.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's what she needed, and I was so amazed, and I was so happy to do this for her, a whole year's program, and one-on-one, and something like that I still would love to do. But regular one-on-one coaching, I don't have the time anymore.
No,
I want to
exactly.
have more people get what I can share with them, and also so many just only have one area, but I have actually 3 areas, and I call it the Trinity of life, because your spirituality is your foundation, your health is the other. If you have a triangle, the one side, and your relationships is the other, and they're all interconnected.
They are.
So my success path that I want to give to the women who want to do this year-long membership with me is that whole success path, from your spirituality to really understanding your body, what it's telling you, because your body is unique to you.
Absolutely.
And then your relationship with you, and of course with others. So,
So this is the Trinity program that you are working on, the subscription program that you're talking about in the Launch Lab. Okay, so that's, and Barb agrees with you that they are definitely all interconnected.
Life is,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to ask you, what legacy do you want to leave, Angelika, to, I know that you have all these programs, and of course you're working on this program that you're wanting to launch, and you've written these books. What's the legacy that you want to leave?
The legacy that I want to leave is actually, almost what I live by, that first of all, you are a unique, you're a Picasso. There is nobody who has ever been like you in the past, nor will there be in the future. You are totally unique. Your power is within you. There is nobody that can take the power away from you unless you allow it. I want my legacy. I want to be that I empowered women to really know themselves, to know their power, not to go out and change the world by whatever. That's not necessary. For yourself, what are you doing with the incredible gifts that God that has given to you? What are you doing with those gifts? not what somebody else wants you to do, but what are you doing with it, to find that and to develop that. And I want to tell every woman that she is not only extremely capable, beautiful, powerful, but also a total energy, ball of energy, of love that has no limit, no limit. And the more you can love yourself, that's what I call heroic self-love.
Self-love. Yeah.
The more you can love yourself, the more energy you have to share that love with others as well.
Wow.
And
Well, I don't.
it's not easy to love yourself. It's much easier to love somebody else, because you can
Absolutely.
love somebody else for the loving parts. But when you love yourself, you have to love everything, the shadows as well.
Right. I don't know who our Facebook user is, but if he or she would just click StreamYard up above and allow StreamYard to use your name, then I would know who that is. And the message here is love, that you are, that person loves that you are as unique as Picasso. No one can take the power away. Keeping that as a new sticky from my computer. Thank you. Thank you.
See if you can change just one life, because that's the ripple effect. It's like a pebble you throw in a pond.
Exactly.
It ripples out. Everybody will profit from whatever one person can take away.
Thank you, Debbie. It's Debbie Lynn.
Yeah,
So I'm so, as you were talking, I was getting goosebumps. And so I just want to tell you how unique you are and how wonderful it is I'm honored to be able to work with you. It's just an honor to be working with you and to help you succeed in getting this program together, because you have made a difference and impacted lots of people's lives. But there's so much more to come. Angelika, I'm so excited, not just for you, but for everybody whose life you're going to be impacting. So I want to, for anybody who wants to touch base with you, down below is the information that I have for you. Contact Baroness Angelika Christie by going to the website www.baronessangelika.
This is actually, that website is only to see some of my media stuff.
Okay, well, that's good too. But there's your angelikachristie.com.
Yeah,
and email would be info@baronessa, no? Angelika.com.
Angelika.Christie.com.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah, it's better. The Baroness is just for that website.
Okay.
And my website that I need to change, I haven't paid attention, it's an older website, but it's still a lot on there, is www.angelikachristie.com or Angelika@angelikachristie.com.
Angelika@angelikachristie.com. That's nice and easy. Good. And so if you want to read about all of the great events that we were talking about, you could go to www.baronessaangelika period TV. You get all that information. It's so much fun to see these interviews. So we didn't, my last minute, I just want to ask you about fear. How, because a lot of women go into fear. Oh, me have a life I desire. I mean, how do I get over this fear? I mean, can we kind of address that before we leave?
Yes, that fear is deep rooted, and it's not easy to get rid of that fear. You actually do not get rid of fear ever.
You use it.
You use it. Yes. You when it comes up, you say, "Hello, old friend." This time I do it anyway. Or you just create a relationship with your fear. See it as something that has allowed you to stay alive, that has allowed your ancestors to stay alive, and that's why you're here. Because that primal instinct of fear was so important and still is important. but it gets in the way of our loftier, of that prefrontal, our higher self that wants to achieve things, not just stay alive.
Right.
You know, fear is really an instinct to avoid things that that are new or strange or dangerous. You know, because
Mm-hmm.
In the moment that you are in right now, you are alive, and why would you risk anything that could, you know, make that a question mark? So fear, you cannot get rid of fear, but embrace it. And let's say, that's interesting. So I fear this. Why am I so afraid of it? What really, dismantle it, put, almost like peel it like an onion and say, why is this so? Ask why. So why is that? The 7 layers, go 7 layers deep.
Mm-hmm.
It's better than with a coach or mentor. I do this with all of my clients because there are fears everywhere. I have to even do it with myself whenever fear comes up.
Right.
And then you see, it's the worst thing. The worst thing that can happen is that a projection. Is it real? You know, there are certain, why do I believe this? Who told me so? What was the authority by which I believe? So there are a number of questions you
Right.
can kind of go through to unravel that fear, and then it may just evaporate.
So, see, so you have the great tools to help your clients, and that's why you're called the Freedom Whisperer.
Oh my God, yeah, a long time ago I was called that.
Now, okay, where did that go?
Researched me. You really researched me.
so, so tell me, but it's a perfect, I love it. The Freedom Whisperer, that's who you're going to be for me from now on. So if you want to have anyone help you get rid of fear, Dr. Angelika is your person. So
Yes.
there is the information in
You.
and the ticklers, so that you can contact her. And if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments below the video that is going to be shown in the Wow Club and also on the YouTube. And so I want to thank you very much, Angelika, for joining us today. It's such a pleasure to be with you, to work with you, to speak with you, and the best success to you for sure. I know that you're going to impact so many people's lives. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so very much.
And I want to say to the audience, you heard it from Dr. Angelika that the Launch Lab Academy program is if you want to launch your business and
Yes.
if you want to do it organically on Facebook, then we are the people for you.
Yes, you are the number one.
We are the number one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And yes, great success to you. Thank you from Elizabeth and Debbie. Okay, somebody's helping somebody out. That's what we do as a team. We help one another out.
Each other,
Okay.
right?
So thank you again, Angelika, and thank you to my audience for joining us here live. And we'll see you next week for another amazing interview. Bye for now.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Okay.